You are listening to episode number 1 of the Sensory Project show with Rachel
and Jessica. In this episode, we're going to discuss why we're starting a podcast and give you a little background on both of us, as well as tell you what you can expect from us in future episodes.
We are so excited you're here with us, and we cannot wait to talk your ears off. Welcome to the Sensory Project show with Rachel and Jessica. We're here to share all things sensory, occupational therapy, parenting, self-care, and overall health and wellness from a therapist's perspective, providing raw, honest, fun ideas and strategies for parents and families to implement into daily life. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, so we're going to start with introducing ourselves. Rachel, you're younger than me, so I'm going to let you go ahead and go first.
Oh, no. Okay, I am Rachel Harrington, and I am the owner of the Sensory Project. And we make weighted vests and weighted blankets and this whole shindig of goodies for sensory kiddos. And I'm also a pediatric occupational therapy assistant, and I have been for about 4.5 years. I am super excited to be doing this podcast just to be able to share my passion for occupational therapy and my love of kids, and just to help families understand the benefits of OT and how to implement all sorts of occupational therapy activities into everyday life. And I love toys and games, and so I'm excited to share, honestly, just the benefits of all of these important activities, just to share that with you so you can use them at home with your family. Jessica, let's hear a little bit about you.
So my name's Jessica Hill, and I'm also an occupational therapist for about 4 years, working with kids in the sensory integration clinic. And I'm also a mother. My child is a neurotypical child, so he doesn't have any specific sensory needs like the kids that we work with. So we call him neurotypical. So I wanted to do this podcast mostly because Rachel asked me to. That was the first reason. But also because I think it's very important that we share what we do as occupational therapists, that we share what we know to help others, because there's so many challenges out there that sensory kids face and their families face. So it's great for us to be able to get out there and just share our knowledge to try to reach more people. We want to help all the families lead healthy, successful lives. So that's about me and why I'm doing it. Go ahead, Rachel.
So there are so many things that we want to accomplish with this podcast, and I don't even think that we can talk about all of them right here. So basically, we want to share our knowledge that we've learned over the years and the importance of holistic approaches for children and their family. And we actually looked up the definition of what holistic means, because
it's a tricky word.
We treat our kids with a holistic approach, but we said, you know what, let's throw in an actual definition.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't even know what that word means. So basically, holistic means looking at the person, not their disability, and looking at them as a whole person. So their body, mind, spirit, their emotions.
So when you treat a child from a holistic approach, you are trying to find the balance of optimal health and wellness. There's so many different treatment plans and approaches you can take, so we just work together to try to find the approach that's going to work for them.
Based on their needs and not only their deficits, but their strengths as well, because you have to identify their strengths to help make them successful.
Yeah, and you have to realize that if there's an imbalance in body, mind, spirit, and emotions, any of that, if any of it's disconnected, then it's going to significantly negatively impact their overall health and well-being, which comes out in a variety of different symptoms.
Different behaviors. And it not only affects the child, but it affects their families. And so that's one of the biggest things that we want to talk about, is to not just helping the child, but also helping the families to make sure that the child is successful, but also the whole family can be successful in their life.
Absolutely. Yeah. So another thing that we want to accomplish with this podcast is just share our ideas and our strategies for daily tasks,
all
toys.
The simple things.
Yes. There are a lot of simple things, a lot of not fixes, not simple fixes, simple strategies.
Yeah.
Just little changes that you can make throughout your day that ideally will make a big impact on your life and your children's lives.
Yeah, and then also all the toys and games that Rachel loves. I love them too. Rachel loves them more, and that's okay. But all those toys and games that you see at the store that you're like, oh, that's just a game, but that game can be used for so many different things to help a child learn new skills.
I will say that after practicing occupational therapy for so long, you don't usually see typical games and toys as typical games and toys
Not
anymore.
even a little bit. Nope.
Or if you're watching a kid play with them or use them in a certain way, all you can think about is how you can modify it.
Yeah, but how you can modify how the child is playing the game to help them be more successful.
Yeah, that's all I think about anymore.
Yeah, I see kids at the park all the time, and I identify them based on their strengths and their weaknesses, and it's not always the best thing. Like I really have to take myself out sometimes and be like, okay, Jessica, knock it off. You're not on OT time right now. But I look at kids all around me and families all around me, and I have my OT brain on, and I'm like, oh yeah, that kid, I could tell that kid's struggling with this challenge, this sensory challenge, and it's everywhere.
But you also have to realize that these kids are going to be okay. It's going to be fine.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they cannot do the monkey bars. Probably.
Neither can I. I can't do monkey bars. What are you talking about?
Probably because they have weak intrinsic hand strength, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. So that's something we'll talk about too, is like, if your kid does have a certain deficit, what's the impact on their ability to lead a successful life and a functional life? And so we'll talk about that in other episodes too, because it's not always the end of the world if your child like can't do the monkey bars or doesn't want to put their face in the water, or it's not the end of the world. There's other things too. So.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some future episodes and what we will go over in future episodes.
Yep. So the biggest thing that we want to be able to talk about in our future episodes are the things that you want to hear about. You're our audience. We're doing this for you. So we need your input to let us know what you want to hear about. What questions do you have? What concerns?
And we just want to help you guys. So send us emails, comment on our Facebook page. We'll have everything linked in the show notes of how to get a hold of us. We'll also provide links to all the products we recommend, so you can just purchase what you feel is necessary for your family and what your children can benefit from.
Yep, and I think at the end of this episode, we're also going to have a link to what occupational therapy is, because you might be listening to this and you've never even heard of occupational therapy, or you've heard of it but you don't really know what it is, and we don't really want to spend a lot of time talking about that, so we're going to send you some links that you can check it out and see what it's all about.
And we do not help your children find jobs. That's
true.
And it's not overtime.
Nope.
Those are some common misconceptions.
And we can't help you find a job either.
Correct.
So, you're out of luck there.
And in some other episodes, we're also going to talk about ideas, tips, strategies for special needs kids.
Of course.
Sensory kiddos, children on the spectrum, ADHD, Down syndrome.
And kids without diagnoses, because we see that a lot too, where kids will come into our clinic and they don't even have an official diagnosis, but they still have sensory challenges that are affecting their lives.
Yep. I'm actually really excited because Jessica has kind of started this new...
Oh, I did forget to say that when I was introducing myself. Yes.
So I'll introduce it here.
Okay, thanks.
So I'm also excited to hear about Jessica's new ambitions and her new
journey. I like to call it a journey.
Her new journey on the health and wellness of yourself, you as a mom, you as a dad if you're listening, and taking care of yourself before you can actually take care of your family.
It's like on the airplane. If you've been on an airplane and you're listening to the safety spiel that they give you at the beginning, and they always tell you that you have to put your mask on before you can help someone else put their mask on. And
yes, that is
exactly
a good reference.
Thank you. I was on a lot of airplane rides these last couple months, so I heard it a lot. But it's that whole idea. You have to take care of yourself before you can actually help someone else take care of themselves. Because if you are struggling in certain areas, then you're probably not going to be able to help others be successful.
Absolutely.
So that's huge.
Yep. We're also going to talk about nutrition and how that impacts not only you, but your family. And I don't even know where to start talking about nutrition in this episode, because
nutrition
it impacts so much. So I'm excited to talk about that.
Definitely. And we're definitely going to try to get some interviews. Well, not try. We are going to get some interviews from others who do what we do. So have some OTs come in. We'll interview some OTs. We'd also like to look at some other aspects of, other people who might treat your child. Like
the holistic approach.
Yes, we're looking at the holistic approach, you guys. We're looking at physical therapy, speech therapy, nutrition counselors, psychologists.
Yes, behavioral therapists.
Yoga
instructors.
Yes, there's so many other people who are out there trying to help others, families, other kids, that we would love to be able to talk to them on our show.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it.
That's it.
I think so, yeah.
That's enough about us.
Episode
1. Exciting.
I think it's fun. I think we're exciting most of the time. So
we're excited that you guys are here and you're joining us in this. Now I'm going to say journey every time. This is a journey. This is super exciting that we're doing this. And so we're excited that you're here, and we hope you're excited to be here as well.
Yeah, we hope you keep coming back. In our next episode, we're going to be talking about sensory integration basics. So make sure you tune in for that one, because that one encompasses everything else that we're ever going to talk about. Sensory integration. Yeah. That's all it is. That's all it is.
You say that's all it is, but it's huge. There's so much that goes into sensory integration. Yes. I don't even feel like I have my head totally wrapped around it.
No.
I don't think anyone ever will.
No. There's so many. And there's so many new things that come out all the time. This is a medical field, you guys, and medical field is constantly changing. There's constantly new breakthroughs, new research being done. So that's another thing we want to make sure we include, is all the different research that's out there, and give you guys the best access to the newest, latest research trends.
Yes. So make sure you subscribe to our podcast.
Leave us a review on iTunes.
I know this is only our first episode, but we got to get those reviews in there.
We need you guys. You need us. We need you. It's 50-50.
Yep. And then we'll have those links posted in our show notes, so make sure you check those out.
And ask us questions. Contact us about any questions you have. There's no dumb questions. If you aren't sure about something, ask, and we want to hear from you.
I love questions. I love when people send me messages on my Instagram and Facebook page for my little business, because they're amazing, and I feel like I actually have a hand in helping these people who I've never met before.
Yes. And honestly, for us, your questions make us think more. Your questions are going to push us farther to try to find better answers, better solutions, better strategies for you guys. So the more questions you ask, the more we can try to help you, and the more we learn and grow ourselves as well. So it's great.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. We are so excited to work together and to help create confident kids all over the world and work towards a happier, healthier life. This is general information related to occupational therapy, pediatrics, sensory integration, and overall health and wellness. We do not know you or your child, therefore, we do not know any specific needs, therefore you should always refer back